Good afternoon and welcome to the Solar Integrated Roofing Corporation SIRC April 2023 Investor Update and Q&A. With us this afternoon are CEO David Massey, COO Troy Clymer, and EVP Brad Rinehart, with special guest CEO of ABCO Roofing Heath Hicks. Gentlemen, how are you this afternoon?
Hey, doing great, Daniel. How are you?
Doing very well, thanks. So right off the bat, we're going to get into it. It looks like Mr. Brad Rinehart is going to speak a little bit about the Callaway project. Brad, want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about how Callaway is going?
Sure. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The Callaway Farms project has completed our design and engineering phase. We recently had a conference in Las Vegas with all of our different engineering staff. The project will be completed in two phases, with the 8-megawatt solar array being deployed in phase one and the remaining energy system being deployed in phase two. All the related plans and materials have been submitted to the finance company for final approval and funding. The solar array equipment has already been sourced and is available in the U.S. for immediate delivery upon project funding. And we anticipate beginning phase one construction within the next 30 to 60 days. The entire Callaway project has a 10-month lifeline for completion of both the farming equipment, installation, and the energy system. The energy component of the project will be $38 million in revenue. Since this is our first major agricultural project, we plan on providing routine updates and photographs throughout the construction and commissioning phases of the project. The project is one of many agricultural opportunities that SIRC is currently working on to be the energy source for additional projects both in the U.S. and globally.
Sounds very good, Brad. And can you give us an idea of how long the project is expected to take, just generally?
Well, I think we'll get kicked off shoveling in the ground within 30 to 60 days, and the entire project will be about a 10-month timeline. The real goal is to be farming within probably 6 months. We might have some interim equipment to support the solar array as we wait for specific pumps to be delivered and installed.
Perfect. And so you expect to realize the 38 million in revenue within the 10-month period that the project is expected to take, or will there be some lag time?
No, that is correct. It should be fully paid for as project completion.
Perfect. All right, Troy, want to tell us a little bit about balance claims and how the finance division is going?
Thank you very much. Absolutely. You know, it's going to be a wonderful year for Circ all around. There's been a tremendous amount of storm activity in the early spring this year, and big storm years like that lend themselves to balance having significant growth. Dave and I both expect this to be the best year in the history of balance since 2015. So we're seeing a tremendous amount of growth. Most importantly, I want to talk about the new Circ Finance division and Balance Finance by Circ. This is an organic and an inorganic growth business for Circ this year. There's two components to the product stack. First is Circ Finance. So it's an internal product for our own Solar Integrated Roofing Corp divisions and teams. It's going live on May 1st. It contributes to a significant increase in our organic revenue. As we've looked at what's gone on and all the winds of change the last few years with supply chain issues, labor issues, and political issues, NEM 3.0 in California, Dave has been encouraging us to bring our own finance product stack to the market. We've been working on it for about a year, and we're just at the point of going live here in May. From a target standpoint, this is going to add 6 to 7 points of net margin for every Circ job that we put through our own financing. So we've got some of the most name recognizable finance partners in the industry already. Bringing our own Circ Finance product to market is going to give our sales teams and our internal dealers a first look at a product that we are bringing to market. It's going to have components of a loan product, a PPA product, and a home equity line of credit product. As we roll the product live in May, we anticipate we'll be able to put 100 projects through in month one, and then scaling quickly to 250 projects per month June forward. And again, the Circ Finance product for our internal teams will add an organic revenue, an organic net profit margin of about an additional 6 to 7 points per project that we put through. It's a significant needle mover for SIRC. The second component to the product stack is Balance Finance by Circ. It's the same products, but these are products that are externally sold to other contractors, such as ABCO Roofing, sales dealers that we work with, or EPC partners and other strategic partners of Circ's businesses. So we're going live for the beta minimum viable product for Balance Finance by Circ in May as well. In June will be the soft launch market-wide. So this is a high profit growth revenue area for Circ that's inorganic revenue. So it's new revenue that we did not have before versus growing our profit margin on existing revenues. So as we look at the offerings for Circ Finance and Balance Finance by Circ, from the residential solar side, the first product in the stack we call our Sledgehammer product. It's going live with beta launch in May. It's a loan product that offers 10, 15, 20, and 25-year terms. It's got very competitive rates between 4.99 and 6.99%. The disruptive part about this product is the low dealer fees. Dealer fees have been escalating significantly, especially over the last 9 months and in the last 90 days with all of the major lenders. So this is going to be available for solar only or solar and roofing combo projects, having a baseline credit score of 640 plus. And again, this will be launching May 1st. We expect to be able to put 100 projects through in May internally, 250 plus June forward. And then as we begin to sell it externally to sales dealers, multi-state EPC partners of ours, and other partners, we'll see significant growth. We anticipate being into the 1,000 to 1,250 projects submitted through Balance Finance by Circ and Circ Finance as we get into the months of July, August, and beyond. There'll also be a home equity line of credit product included in the product stack. Have rates between 6 and 9%, terms of up to 30 years. Could be used for any home improvement project. So it could be a standalone roof. It could be a HVAC project. You know, we have a lot of our contractors and dealers that are selling all kinds of home improvement projects, not just renewables. So we want to bring a product to market that they can use for their clients where they have the interest to pay down the loan, gives them a further tax deduction, still has lower dealer fees. We expect the HELOC product to be rolling out in June as well. Other components of the Circ Finance and Balance Finance by Circ product offerings will be a no credit, failed credit PPAs. We expect that to launch later in the year in the midsummer, June and July timeframe. So it'll be available in selected states only, but it would offer PPAs with credit approvals based on electric bills being paid for 6 months. So not based solely off of a customer's credit score. And we'll also be offering rebates on the Balance Finance projects to our dealers and our EPCs based on volume. So that's a chance for a win-win. And then as we get into the summer months and round out the product stack, we'll be bringing to market a commercial solar product. Again, offering no credit PPAs for nonprofits, important for churches and the like. That will be focused on operating and capital leases, land financing, and have term loans. We estimate this product launching mid-July. And then we're looking at bringing products into the market in the June and July timeframe for EV as well, to look at 5-year equipment leases for commercial EV projects, structured financing to promote positive cash flow for clients. That'll be rolling out in the July timeframe. As we talk a little bit about on the next slide, some of our existing partners that are helping us bring these products to market. Balance through our strategic alliance network, has longstanding relationships with some of the leading fintech providers to the space. We're able to leverage those for the Circ Finance products and the Balance Finance by Circ product. Two that I wanted to mention today, and Keith Hicks has joined us, is very familiar with these, are Inc. endorsements. Inc. is a solution for homeowners and contractors and public adjusters and attorneys that require mortgage endorsements for their insurance claim checks. This is important. Balance touches around 10,000 insurance claim estimate and supplements that we're doing the administrative services on each year. Each one of these has a mortgage endorsement check that slows down the money process for the contractor and the homeowner. Our partner Inc. Has a leading solution that streamlines this and allows funding of that mortgage check and that insurance claim ultimately to happen faster. So Inc. has been an instrumental part of the product stack, as is our partner Moment. And so we've got a live loan portal already on our website with Moment, showing it on this slide. The Moment powers a point-of-need financing platform for contractors, for roofing as well. So this is available to our roofing contractors, does not have to be solar, where we can offer consumer financing on the spot. This improves sales by closing more deals and increasing the average ticket size of deals. Moment's been a key partner and a longtime strategic partner of ours. These are important parts of the Circ Finance and Balance Finance by Circ product stack. We've got custom branded portals to provide high quality customer experiences. These are already live on Balance's website, and they'll be a part of the Circ Finance portals as we continue to round out this product stack and take it to market for 2023.
Very, very good. That sounds super exciting. But as a shareholder, the one thing everyone is going to ask you, and you know this very well, is what's the bottom line? What is the amount of revenue that Balance Claims is going to bring in for Circ in 2023?
We expect Circ Finance to impact revenue to Circ directly, and Balance Finance to Circ by Circ to impact Balance's revenue. So it's really twofold. Again, all of our internal sales teams will be able to take advantage of Circ Finance. So what we're doing is becoming our own lender, especially for our residential solar products. This is significant. What it means for Circ revenue-wise and profit-wise is an extra 6 to 7 points on every single project that we put through. So we expect that to be between $2,000 to $3,000 of extra revenue that's profit revenue to the bottom line on every single one of SIRC's residential solar projects that we put through.
Wow.
Balance Finance by Circ is additionally us selling these products and services, whether it be the Sledgehammer loan product, the HELOC product, or the PPA products that we bring to market for midsummer, to Balance's 700 plus active client contractors and the many large multi-state EPCs that we have. So what we're forecasting is a significant amount of increased organic revenue internally for Circ's teams. Again, 6 to 7 points per project that Circ will be keeping on its books as we roll these out. We expect 100 projects to be able to go through in the first month of beta testing in May, scaling to 250 or more June forward. But then with the Balance Finance by Circ, we'll be selling these products to all of our dealers, all of our multi-state EPCs, and helping Balance's 700 plus active clients take advantage of the roofing to solar trend that's going on in the marketplace right now, where we're pairing them up with an appropriate EPC for their geographic markets. And then we're providing the transactional financing that they need through these products. It's a significant revenue increase for Circ and for Balance. We expect it to more than double Balance's annual revenues this year alone.
That's very impressive. And would you characterize it as every bit the benefit to Circ would be in the relationships that Balance allows you to form with these other, the clients and the finance products offered allows you to build, additional relationships that can bring further business in the future in addition to just the bottom line.
Especially with what's going on in the marketplace, where we're seeing a push for more battery sales, where we're seeing more contractors wanting to diversify if they're primarily a roofing contractor wanting to get into solar or to be selling consumer EV products. Absolutely. And it's not just with our contractor clients at Balance. I mentioned ABCO because Heath is with us, but Balance did business last year in 43 states. So as CIRC continues to expand its footprint, we want to bring new products and services to bear for our business to contractor channel through Balance, but also through our strategic alliance partners. We've been a part of a nonprofit called the Catalyst Group for many years now. Moment Inc., Heath's other company, the Catch-All. This is a coalition of the leaders in the contractors and vendor services to contractor space. And so these products do create an opportunity to bring multiple strategic alliance partners together to serve contractors. And that, of course, gives CIRC a better chance to grow more quickly across geographies outside of California, Texas, and Florida, where most of our business has been focused in the past few years.
Very good. Well, Troy, it sounds like the future for Balance Claims and the finance division, and thus the future for SIRC in that regard, is quite bright. And
we're excited about it. The team's been working hard on it, and we'll be going live May 1st. So a couple more weeks, and we'll start to see the increased revenues, and they'll only scale exponentially from there.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Troy, for that insight on Balance. And Dave, let's turn to you. So tell us, what's new and exciting in SIRC in 2023? What do we got to look forward to?
What's really new and exciting is I'm here at ABCO Roofing with Heath Hicks. I would like for you to meet him. He's sitting next to me. I'm going to kind of move him over into this, and so you can get to know Heath a little bit.
How's it going, everybody?
Welcome, Heath. How are you this afternoon?
Wonderful. Excited to be here.
Perfect. What can you tell us about ABCO Roofing and your relationship with SIRC?
I guess I'll start with the relationship with SIRC. We've been connected for about 2 years now in different talks, and a long-time partner with Balance Claims. So as they rolled into SIRC, we had lots of talks initially, and kind of tracking how all that's going, and also been lending to some strategy and ideas on the background there with the leadership team, just kind of planning on how to grow things forward on a national footprint. So been connected there for a while. ABCO Roofing has been in existence in its current form for about 7 years. We've done about $140 million in sales over the last 7 years. So had a lot of growth. Started out year one with $5 million in sales, and then did 10, and then 20, and 25, and then 30. So we've experienced a lot of growth over the first few years, and now we're focused on kind of leveling that off with sustainable, measured growth, and maintaining high profitability as we grow. So we're at a mature point in the business, and it's exciting to be able to partner with SIRC moving forward.
Perfect. Sounds like ABCO is a perfect addition to SIRC and was going to help build the portfolio of companies nicely. And you guys have a solid working relationship with Balance. So it looks like the future's bright for you as well.
Yeah, feels that way. Thanks.
Awesome. So Dave, what else we're looking forward to in 2023 for SIRC? What's the big ticket items coming up?
First of all, I want to thank Heath and Brad and Troy for their help on this Q&A today. Circ has a lot of exciting things we're working on in 2023. I'm sure a lot of folks want to hear about the funding that we're working on. They want to hear about our future plans for going to NASDAQ. We're cleaning up the balance sheet to get that ready. We're getting out of the lawsuit business, and we're still working on the funding to move our pipeline to increase our revenue, and obviously increase the value and increase the market cap. So those are the 5 subjects I like to cover with you, Daniel, today. If you want to dig into them, we can.
Certainly. So could you explain all of the different financing options that Circ is exploring at this time and how each of them would benefit shareholders?
Yeah, I like to go backwards a little bit because there's been some confusion on some things that have happened. We signed that convertible promissory note with Granite Ridge that started out slow. It didn't exactly follow the scheme of the note, so we canceled that because people thought that was, kind of funny, but it was all entered with good intentions. Brett Rosen came and replaced it with his line of credit, and I think it's going to be very valuable for us as we increase our market cap and we get the share price up. We're currently working with a local lender out of San Diego that they've verbally committed to invest $10 million in the Circ, and we anticipate funding to happen this week. I want to be very clear that everything I'm talking about are things I'm working on. Doesn't mean they happen. If they happen, we will send out a press release, let everyone know that happened. But this is something we're working on. We're very confident that it should happen this week, and that's going to be very, very valuable for us to move our pipeline and start really increase our revenue. And I'll go over that a little bit later. Something that probably people don't want to hear much about, but we currently have a $42 million signed loan agreement with Arbiter Bank. I know that's a terrible name. No one wants to hear it, but you have to be aware of it. Their attorney at Arbiter Bank has sent our attorney a $42 million loan agreement. They're working on it every single day. It should have been funded by now. I don't know if you heard the tragic story, but Darren Pastor died a couple weekends ago. That kind of pushed them back a little bit. He was kind of leading things on that, but he unfortunately passed away. And my condolences go out to him and his family. It's really a shame. I became really close to Darren. I was working with him very closely. We had to literally have weekly calls on their process. I know it's been, everyone thought it was a scam, but they've been working very hard to get the bank going. It just took longer than they think. So we anticipate Arbiter to actually be a good funding source for us as well. We have a couple other NASDAQ opportunities that we're working on. I mentioned we're working on a SPAC. They're really excited to work with us. And I've also been in weekly negotiations with a NASDAQ company to do a reverse merger with them. It's a really, really exciting company. They're a solar company. They do acquisitions. There's a lot of synergy there. They have the NASDAQ team in place. Be a great fit. So we're working on both of those opportunities, would give us long-term funding as well. And just kind of follow up on that, and I'll dig deeper in on some of these other things. I'm sure everyone knows that we pulled the Form 10, we filed the Form 15. We did that because we know our direction is for NASDAQ is either, if we get the Arbiter money, we're going to probably stay on the OTC and stay relatively private, grow the business, grow the pipeline, be $1 billion private company. We think we can make 20%, do share buybacks, and do everything everyone wants. That's opportunity that, Arbiter has to come through. It has to happen. And our other two opportunities are work with a SPAC. I think that's a good choice as well. I like the guy. He has some great ideas with the technology of the battery. That's a good choice. And we're also working on the reverse merger with a NASDAQ company. I think another good opportunity. So those are all the things we're working on. We're really excited about all of them. I think all three choices would bring a lot of value to Circ and their shareholders. But we just, we have to get a little further down the road to make our minds up. But we think we'll have a pretty firm direction within the next 45 days of which we're performing.
Well, sounds very impressive. Sounds like there's going to be a lot of action coming up in Circ in the next 45 days, certainly in the next month. You mentioned a reverse merger. Would SIRC be the proposed surviving company in that reverse merger on the NASDAQ?
It wouldn't be that way. It's a NASDAQ company, so they have NASDAQ status. We'd fold into them, but we would become part of them, and they would keep their C-level management team in place. And I'm sure if all those shareholders asked me to resign, I would stay on as a M&A guy or operations guy. So you guys would have your NASDAQ team. We have a lot of synergies. They really need some roofing division that we could really help them with EV. And I think our financing piece fits really, really nice for them. So it's a perfect fit. I'm excited. Both parties are really excited to get it done. The meetings we have, it's not if, it's how. So we're working on the hows, but we haven't made our mind up. We're still working out the details.
And so the bottom line is, I'm sure shareholders want to know is if you believe the company would be acquired at a price that would provide the shareholders with some benefit versus where the price currently sits per share.
The neat thing about it, Daniel, it's not like, since our market cap, I don't know, 15 million, it kind of changed today, but let's say our market cap's 15 million. It's not like they're gonna write us a check for 15 million. It would be a share swap. And the only way we would do it is if our shareholders could get shares in NewCo and get all the momentum and the benefit of the new company going forward as we're NASDAQ and we're funded and we're pumping out a couple $1 billion a year and really growing this into something. So it wouldn't be a cash transaction. It would be a share swap. So shareholders would get shares in the NewCo and they would have the opportunity to get the real NASDAQ value that I think we can bring out.
Perfect. So it sounds like a good plan for the future. But that's just one of the options that you talked about. You also mentioned a SPAC. Is there a little bit more you could talk about your discussions with the SPAC in that regard, or your plans in that way?
Yeah, I mentioned on the last call, it's an opportunity. They're excited to have us. Nice thing about it, we got 2 quarters bidding on us, and so that gives us opportunity to get a competitive environment. And the SPAC could also be another good option. I like the NASDAQ reverse maybe a little more. I still like the idea of possibly getting Arbiter money, staying on the OTC, staying private, and doing a share buyback, and really increasing the value that way. So I think all 3 of them are great options, and that's it's like I said earlier. I think 2023 is going to be really exciting. We're pretty confident this will shake loose pretty quick.
Awesome. So just to clarify, because I know that there's been a lot of discussions about this, and certainly it's been a topic of contention, you do still expect that the 42 million from Arbiter will come in at some point, even now, yes?
Well, I'm like everyone else. I won't believe it until it's in the checking account, because I've had a lot of false starts. But they do have one of the probably nation's largest attorney firms representing them, and they're working with Joe Lukoski, my attorney, and we do have current loan docs that we've negotiated, gone back and forth on. They're approved and ready to go. Again, with Darren passing away, they had put things on pause. They had to find someone new to run the bank. But I've heard from the executive chairman and the attorney within the last week that they plan on moving forward, plan on keeping their commitments with Circ, and plan on funding this. And we're hopeful. I can't imagine them paying this attorney all this time and not really having a bank to get the bank going. Doesn't make any sense.
That makes perfect sense to me. What has the previously announced 10 million line of credit allowed Circ to accomplish in the last 2 months? The line of credit from Mr. Rosen and RB Capital.
That's based on share price, and our share price has been beat to death, and we're working hard. We think as we get this line this week, this 10 million this week, and we can literally move our pipeline. I have 7 projects on a list that we're going to get started as soon as we get this 10 million. We're actually going to post that list on the website so you guys can keep track of them, and as the PRs come out, you can see them. But with that 10 million, for 6 million of that 10 million, I can move $288 million of projects into production that would generate immediate revenue for us. And that's our goal, is to do that, get the share price up, and then have Brett's line of credit kick in, and then move into one of these opportunities that we have with either Arbiter Bank or the reverse merger or the SPAC. So that's kind of lined up, and we might need to pivot based on things. And I just want everyone to know that these are just options that we have. No decisions have been made.
Well, it's always good to have more than just one option, because it means that, the options can compete against each other and provide, Circ with more benefit than if it were just, only one alternative that you had. Let's talk a bit about Circ's balance sheet. How has Circ's process for collecting work-in-progress receivables progressed recently? Has the rate in which receivables are converted to realized cash flow increased? How is that coming along?
I don't think there's any secret that we've ran into cash flow problems, and it's sometimes a little crisis brings you together, and I'm telling you, it's really created more of a team type environment for Circ, where the weather's much better in Southern California. Our cash flow is getting much better. Our collections are getting better. Everyone's working hard to get the money off the street. They realize how important it is, so that's really helped. Another balance sheet move that I'm excited to talk about is, I think a lot of folks who longtime shareholders know about Granite Ridge and our relationship with Granite Ridge. He has a $14 million note on our balance sheet. He's just recently agreed to honor his commitment on that note and convert that note. I believe the price is about $3 or $4 a share. So for about $4 or $5 million, we can convert that note and get off the balance sheet. We're in negotiations right now. It's not done yet. I think it could be done this week. And as soon as that happens, we'd issue a PR, AK, whatever is appropriate with our new filing of the Form 15. I don't know if we need to file EKs anymore or not. That would be up to our attorney.
Well, certainly clearing $14 million worth of debt off of the balance sheet would be a huge step toward, restoring a lot of the faith in the finance and everything that's been happening, and that's huge progress for Circ, from where you guys were last year.
It also gets us polished up for the SPAC or for the reverse merger. So, we're really getting this cleaned up. Another thing I want to make note of is we're getting out of the lawsuit business. We've I think the long-term shareholders are aware of the single point lawsuit and the FHP lawsuit. The single point lawsuit, they walked away from it about 2 weeks ago. That's signed, sealed, and delivered. We're no longer in a lawsuit with them. Happy about that. My time is spent on more constructive, creative things other than dealing with lawsuits. And Jason and I are in the very final stages of negotiating the final settlement with FHP. I think that will be signed and settled this week. So we'll have literally no more lawsuits with Circ other than we have a little employee lawsuit that just employee got let go and she claimed that it was wrongfully terminated. We literally had it done by HR. We had the attorneys there. It was well documented. It just, in California, those things just happen. But as far as any serious lawsuit, nothing, what we've done is that we got anything that would impede us from moving forward with possibly the SPAC or uplist and NASDAQ. We've cleaned those things up. So we're polished up, ready to go, ready to get to work, ready to get our 10 million this week, move the pipeline, raise the market cap, and increase shareholder value. That's our model for this year.
It sounds like you're making excellent progress. You're clearing up the balance sheet, getting rid of the lawsuits. Everything is looking much better. You got several options for moving forward, and I would say that the future is certainly a lot brighter than it may have looked this time last year when we were kind of sitting around waiting for Arbiter Bank and kind of unsure where things would stand. But now it looks like there's definitely a solid direction, and I think shareholders will be happy to see that. Is the company now cash flow positive in general?
We have some debt service we need to clean up with this 10 million. When we get that done, we definitely will be cash flow positive. And moving the commercial pipeline, when we move this $288 million into actual production and we start receiving draws on that, we're gonna be spending cash out. It's gonna be. I think as these things progress, as just our revenue and our checking count and everything's going to change drastically. And something else that's really exciting is I'm hearing this. I don't know if you guys know if I look any different in Heath's office, but he has a professional camera set up here, and I have professional lights on me. That probably makes me probably not good with so much light on. But, it's a really nice place, and he's welcomed us. And having this ABCO acquisition in Southeast Texas is really, really key for us. He's a great operator, and he's going to really get in the solar, and he's going to be a great piece. So we've put together a lot of things in the past since the last Q&A that we're really, really excited about it. I wanted to share things with all the shareholders, and so they understand where we were. I know that Friday afternoon when the Form 15 came out, I got some pretty drastic phone calls that, hey, what are you guys doing? You're going out of business. You're not going to be SEC compliant. With our direction, we have the Form 10 and being fully reporting. All it does is it costs money. It takes energy. It takes effort. It just takes things that we don't want to do. We don't want to focus on that. We want to focus on building a real company that someone likes and can come acquire, and then they can do the SEC stuff. So we're trying to stick to what we're good at, which I think is being pretty effective.
Sounds good. So with all of the new initiatives and the plans to, improve the balance sheet and make things look a lot better for acquisitions, either through SPAC or through NASDAQ, do you have any revenue guidance for 2023 in general that people can look at and, kind of get a baseline?
I would rather not do that, Daniel. I'd like to get this money in this week and move this pipeline and register that $280 million this quarter, and then maybe next quarter we could get a really good feel and see some of these funding options. And I want to give something people can sink their teeth into. I don't want to, speculate at this point.
Fair enough. Are there any other projects or initiatives that you would like to discuss regarding the company's upcoming plans for the remainder of 2023?
What we cover are the meat of it. Those are, the balance sheet, no more lawsuits is great, funding the pipeline. Like I said, we'll put that on the website so everyone can see the projects that we have and see what it costs to start them and see the revenue that's going to come in. And as we start checking them off the list, it's, you know, it'd be, I'd like for the shareholders to really understand what we're doing so they can follow the path that we're going on. So that's, I think we covered everything that I want to cover with you, Daniel.
All right. So if there's any closing statement you'd like to make, or are we finished for the day?
I guess the closing statement I'd like to make is I'd like to thank all of the shareholders for all their support they've given us. You know, a lot have been have lost their life savings so far, but I feel bad about that. I'm really confident in our direction. I think we can really turn Circ around and get it moving in the right direction. And you know, I think we have some good folks that are looking to get us up to NASDAQ. I think getting up to NASDAQ is going to really open up the value, and people are going to realize that we're a real company making real revenue, doing real things. And as we plug into the finance division and we plug ABCO in and we get the Callaway project started and all this funding comes in, I think Circ is going to have a great 2023. And I just wonder how many people are excited about our stock going up 56% today.
Yeah, it was a heck of a day. One of the best days you guys have had in a while. I'm sure everyone's happy about that.
Well, I don't know how happy they are going from $1.50 to 2.5 pennies, but hopefully those days will continue.
Certainly hope so. Well, Dave, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure as always, and hopefully shareholders can see that things are moving forward, and